gets back home tonight, and the clock just starts right over, and the walls come closing in, and the bathroom dips and then twirls, and your eyes get sunken in so deeply you can't recognize the face you see so easily. No one gets back home tonight.
Oh gods, I hope we're live.
I
it worked.
see us
First try.
live. Transpotting is showing us live. We are live. Welcome back, everybody, to another wonderful stream. I don't see our... Why is our camera
Hey, we
not
got
showing
someone
on
in
Twitch?
chat already. See, we're fine. We're good.
Do I have
We
to
got
refresh
peoples
the
in
page?
chat. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We're doing a
I
stream.
want to make sure that we're visible on stream. Don't worry about it. People can just look at our banner the entire time and just hear us. That's
People are
all.
in chat. They're in chat. It means the stream is working. That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely, but I want to make sure visual's working.
Okay.
Welcome back to the
And this is our dynamic.
Yeah, this is our dynamic. Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. I'm Samara, one of the co-hosts here. We've got Rib and Jess. And today we are being joined by the wonderful Aurora.
Hi.
Welcome in.
Thanks for having me.
So
Thanks
good
for
to
being
have
here.
you. So, yeah. How's everybody doing today? Let's start there. How are you? Check in.
That's a loaded question in these trying times.
What's that movie where that person goes around all the time being like, "How are you?" 'Cause that was
But really, how are you?
Are you? You give me those vibes. I know it's a great reference when you can't actually remember what the reference was. So
It
like
feels
A+
very
for
Keanu
Aurora
Reeves-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if that's what it was from, but it feels like a Keanu Reeves thing to do, like shake your hand and go, no, really, how are you?
I could see him pulling that off, yeah, but I'm not sure if that's real.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think I've seen this movie.
Now it's gonna be stuck. The whole podcast, the theme is just gonna be it's that same movie. The reference is the same movie, and it's
What
gonna
was
be
that
like
movie?
the most epic movie of all time by the end of this.
Yeah,
Is that
the title of the episode, what is that one movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Movie quotes.
What?
But how are you
Our
doing?
guest, how are you? Let's put you on the spot, Aurora.
Oh, for me.
How are you doing?
I'm doing just fine. I slept well, which is great. I had my requisite 2 morning coffees, which is also great. It's a beautiful day, but the heat has broken, which is also great because I live in Victoria, British Columbia, and it is an incredibly temperate city here. The temperature in the winter goes down sometimes as low as 1 degree Celsius. And in the summer, it often goes as high as 25 degrees Celsius. So I live in a very temperate area, and it was 27 last week.
I need to translate that to freedom units really quick
Freedom
here.
zone. Yeah. So in the winter, it's like 35 Fahrenheit to like, I don't know, maybe like high 70s. And it was in the low 80s last week. And so we were cooking because we are sensitive baby Pacific Northwest people here. And, anyway, the weather's broken, which is great. Now we're back in our nice room temperature all the time zone. And I'm really here for that.
Nice. Thanks,
I am
corporations, for breaking the weather.
I'm so jealous to hear about that because we've been nothing but like between 0 and 10 degrees Celsius for like the last 2 weeks because it's just been rainy and miserable in the mountains, and I'm over it. I am so over it.
Sad.
It is. It's supposed to be summer. It's supposed to be warm.
Oh, hey, DJ, someone's in chat. Hey, hi, DJ. That's a friend of mine. They're great.
Hi, DJ. Welcome in. So, does anybody else want to say how they're doing, or shall we just jump into things? And,
Yeah, we gotta have everyone tell us how you're doing.
Well,
let's do it.
How am I doing?
Yeah, one more.
I'm going to make an assumption that I'm probably the oldest here, and I'm just really proud. I'm going to take my badge of talked about the weather and just put that right in my like oldest badge, and I'm going to vibe on that so hard.
Wait, can I ask how old you are, or is that rude?
43.
Okay. I'm 38
barely.
just to share it. So that, yeah.
41.
Told you.
Almost
Yeah.
42, so.
There we go.
I gotta say, happiness looks good on all of us because, damn, we all look fine.
We all
I'm
look
just
fine.
saying, we all look great.
Well, 3 of us got the trans woman 7. You know about that, right?
Yeah, I do know about that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I can see Samara doesn't.
I
I don't know
don't know
why.
that
Yeah,
one.
please explain this. I would like to know
Yeah.
as well.
So for trans femme types, once you've been on hormone replacement for a while, you go and people guess your age, and they almost inevitably guess like 7 or 8 years younger than you are.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And you go,
I've just never heard of it referred to as the Trans Women 7.
it's very like Ocean's 11, Ocean's 8,
Yeah.
Ocean's 7.
Ocean
I
7.
we
was
all
at a
do a
whiskey
heist now.
tasting this week, and the guy next to me was showing me his tattoo, which was quite nice. And he said, we were talking about age, and then he was talking about the age of his tattoo. And the tattoo is 42 years old. And I happened to say, well, I'm older than that tattoo. And he looked at me with not one whit of irony. He was like, I do not believe that for 1 second. And I was just like, thank you.
Yeah. You gotta do that.
We rate
Yeah.
that.
It's required.
Okay, well, Riv, since you want to know how us co-hosts are doing, why don't you start?
I don't mind if I do, Samara. Thinking you're being all snarky when I want to talk forever. It's what I do for a living. I'm great. I'm in my new place. First stream from the new place. Got guitars on the wall. Got acoustic panels on the wall. That's new as of today. And does it do a lot? No, but it sure looks pretty.
It looks gorgeous.
Yeah. So I've been busy. I'm nesting. I'm in my like nesting phase right now of getting everything not just unpacked. That's all done, but actually looking pretty. Because I have to have cute shit in my apartment. I really, really do. So going from a house to an apartment is definitely a weird sensation, but I've lived in apartments most of my life. So, it's not my first rodeo, so it's fine. But I do miss having a house where I don't have to worry about all of the random noises outside my window. So, yeah. That's how I'm doing. Samara, how are you doing?
No, I'm doing actually amazing. I'm finally rested from the weekend. I feel great. My brain has actually felt like it's been able to just like chill, relax, and just enjoy things. For those of you who don't know, I just started my brand new job just this last week. And it's a huge step up. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So no, this first week has been just a lot of training in like reservations. I moved into a revenue manager role, and just learning the new system, learning the properties, learning everything that they do. And in the week of just learning has been absolutely crazy, and also just trying to see like, okay, well, this is what I know. What do you do? And then them going, oh, like just that semblance of they're learning from me as much as I'm learning from them. And I'm excited for the weeks to come. So it's been a good week. It's been such a good week.
I'm so excited for you.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what the next few weeks are like. But anyways, Jess, how are you doing?
All sounds lovely. I'm doing here today now. I'm doing pretty well. I'm doing okay. I also got some sleep, which doesn't always happen, but I slept well. That's like great way to start off. Normal weekend stuff. Did some family time stuff today, solid. And I changed the water in my fish tank. Very exciting stuff, really thrilling. Talked to my fish. I got a haircut. That's it.
Hey, haircut. There we go.
Say, haircut looks fantastic. Also, you gotta take care of them fish.
You gotta take care of them
Doesn't
fish.
Doesn't matter. trans, cis, you gotta take care of fish. You know, all
They're
of us
very
do at
flip
some point in
floppy.
life.
Those fish, they're very their sex is quite unreliable. They're just like
Yeah.
swimming along, male, and then they're like, I don't know, I think I might want to be female, and boom, there are. They do it.
Right there.
Yep. Yep.
That's actually a thing. Fish switch gender.
Yeah, there's a lot of fish that. Well, there's a lot of. I mean, yeah, gender. I don't know about gender. I don't know.
They don't
if
switch their
that's been
gender. They probably don't
studied
have
as
gender,
much,
but they do
yes,
switch their sex.
sex.
Yeah.
They may switch gender. We don't know. They could.
Yeah,
They could
they
be switching
may.
gender. They may
They
be
might
like,
have a
I like to
society.
swim
They have a
this
whole
way, but
school
I
after all.
really, on the inside, have been swimming this way the whole time. But no, they do. They do. They're amazing. Like, I'm trying to remember which fish in particular, but I mean, a lot of fish switch
Was
sex.
that clownfish?
Clownfish,
clownfish?
yes.
Yeah.
There are some that that, like, depending on the population, they'll switch sex so that they continue to reproduce.
That's so fascinating. I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, yeah, they're like way more advanced than we are at that. They just, like, wiggle a little bit and then poof. So I wish we could
That's
do
how
that.
I did it.
That's how it works.
It's not how.
Scientific-
Wiggle
that's-
poof.
Yeah. That's not
See,
how
y'all thought
did
the
it.
fish were boring, and now,
Don't you put words in my mouth.
anyway, that's how I'm doing.
Oh my god.
That's fantastic, Jess. Thank you.
Oh, fish.
See, Aurora,
So-
you're in for a great ride.
I'm here for it. I love random factoids. I love random factoids. As far as we know, I am not a neurodivergent human. But if I was, it would definitely be autism. And you're gonna see a lot of those little ticks as we go through this podcast, and you'll be like, oh yeah, that fits too. And one of them is an obsession with weird factoids about fish. So I'm here for it.
I love
Toys,
that.
if you will.
Fish toys. Yeah.
We love our
I got you.
neurospicy people.
Wait, yo,
So-
he's the wiggle poof method.
The wiggle
Wiggle
poof.
That's how I do my makeup every morning.
I transitioned long enough ago that we didn't know about the wiggle poof method. We had to do everything, the hard way, the uphill
Yeah.
both ways at that time and all that jazz. So, kids
Put on
these
your
days
gender
with the
one leg at a
wiggle poof,
time. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, this is a great segue into Aurora. Tell us a little bit about yourself, like who you are, and yeah. I mean, what kind of hobbies do you have? Like, we know that you live in Victoria and gorgeous island, lots to do there. Tell us a bit about you, who you are.
Let's see. I am a lot, I guess. Right now, I'm feeling a lot of like summer vibes kind of stuff. I go for a lot of walks. I went to the beach yesterday and found the most perfect rocks. So we'll just put that in the autism check.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
Do you have like a checklist that you're going through? Okay, rocks, fish.
No, not just rocks. An entire trip to the beach for the purpose of finding the most perfect rocks.
is anyone going to tell her?
I'm doing a lot of reading right now. I'm on a huge fantasy romance binge. Like I cannot get enough fantasy smut. And if you, like me, are into fantasy smut, the T Kingfisher series that starts with Paladin's Grace is the first one. Very, very good. The first two is just like a lovely, we're going to call them, basic model couple, man, woman. It's cool. The next one is a very thick couple that revels in each other's thickness, and I'm really here for that. The third one that I'm in right now is two gentlemen. And so we're here for that. I don't know what the fourth one is yet. Highly recommended. When I'm not doing like romantic or fantasy romance stuff, I basically am only reading fantasy. People try to give me nonfiction recommendations all the time, and I'm like, honey, I live this shit. I don't want it. I'm gonna go over here.
I'm living history. Thank you very much.
Paladin's Grace is the first book by T. Kingfisher. Also female author shout out. So
Love that.
Yeah.
yeah, we're doing good. What else? I'm playing through Final Fantasy Rebirth right now.
Oh,
Yeah, Final Fantasy Remake, Final Fantasy VII Remake, I think changed my life. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, I think had no hope of possibly living up to that level of hype, and so I'm feeling like it's disappointing while I still have spent 60 hours in it, so I must be enjoying it. So, could do with
Are
a
you
few less mini games.
are you
Sunk
still in the
cost
first
fallacy.
the first remake or whatever of it?
No,
Or-
second one. I'm in the second.
Okay.
Second one.
Yeah.
Yeah, remake is the first reboot, and then rebirth
Oh, okay.
is the second I know. Why? I don't know. Marketing.
Yes.
So that they could get more money.
Yeah, that's
Capitalism.
true.
So, now here's the thing about me. So I got wind in Final Fantasy Rebirth that at some point towards the end of the game, you're going to go on a date with another character. And so when I know this, I try not to like game it. I try to, act natural as my relationship with the various characters gets better. But I did really, really want to go on the date with Aerith because she's the best character fight me. And, so I get to the date scene and the game tells you, the game is like, okay, you're about to go on a date. Do you want to go and do any side quests or up your relationship or whatever? And, make sure you go on the date with the person you want. But I don't want to do that. I want to have, earned my date with Aerith when I get it. I don't want to play it that way. And for those that don't know the game, there's a huge cast of, well, not huge, but there's a cast of characters. So you can go on a date with Aerith, the best character, or you can go on a date with Tifa, the second best character, but also like the punchy kicky girl. Or you can go on a date with Barrett, who has a gun arm, and is this like very, very large black man who wears sunglasses all the time. Or Red, the dog with a flaming
You can
tail.
go on a date with Red.
You can go on a date with Red.
Wow, shout out to the furries out there. That's great.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Or Yuffie, this like kind of teenage materia stealer. Or I'm not sure if you can go on a date with Vincent, but he's like a vampire, so that makes him sexy, I guess.
That is
And-
so hot.
By default.
Yeah, right. Or the like mushroom log cat person, but we don't care about that person, so we're not gonna even talk about that. And
Wait, Sephiroth. Yes, no?
no, Kate said. I know.
All right. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
You made me say it. You made me say it. So
All right.
I'm like, no game. I'm not playing this at all. I have earned my date with Aerith. I've done everything right. And who do I go? Who shows up at the door asking for a romantic Ferris wheel ride with me? The dog.
The best boy.
I picked up on all of your clues. I'm here for our date.
And honestly, it was like such an art imitates life moment because, I told my partner and I was like, you will not believe it. It's the fucking dog. Sorry, explicit content. And she's like, well,
No,
of
you're
course
fine.
it was the dog. Have you met you? And I was like, oh, fine.
We stand a good boy. All I'm saying. And don't worry, you can say fuck all you want. That's fine.
Great.
Yeah,
Great. I love finding out that I can by doing it and then getting
it's
told.
great. Yeah,
Yeah.
this ain't CBS.
Yeah, if we started filtering out swear words, I don't think I could actually do that.
Okay, what else about me? I love going to summer festivals. I go to Burns a lot. Those are fun.
Any big ones coming up?
Yeah, there's the kind of British Columbia inland burn coming up on August long weekend. I'm gonna go. And I don't know, how's that? How are we doing? Oh, I'm a musician. I play piano. That's cool.
Oh, you
That's
play
awesome.
piano? Play everything you know right now. I'm kidding.
Right now.
Yep,
Right now.
pull it right up. Yep, here we go.
So I am ironically obsessed with the musical Cats. Because my specialty is my degree is in music history and my specialty was musical theater. And we have to learn about Cats because it's the longest running and highest grossing musical of all time. So you have to learn about it. But Cats, speaking of takes, is a dumb musical. And I recently watched. I forced my partner to watch the Tom Hooper tragedy, Cats, and we were talking about it and ranting about it with somebody else, and they didn't know the song Memory, which, if you don't know Cats is 2 hours of edging followed by the song Memory, and then all the cats agree they're not dogs, and then you go home.
That's a great Cliff Notes
Oh yeah,
one-line explanation of
in
Cats.
the chat, it's like, yep, that's correct. So anyway, they didn't know the song Memory, so I just was like, oh, I'll go over play it. And so I played it, and then our friend was like, you know that by memory? And I was like, no, I just figured it out. And then they're like, somehow that was more impressive. I thought it would be less, but it was more. Anyway. And thank you, Green Moonfire. You may have it. You may share that forward. I feel like it is accurate.
Nice.
That's
As a fellow play by ear girly, I respect.
Yeah.
I know that, like, just because for those of you who don't know, Aurora and I know each other quite well. I know that, like, with your piano playing and music background, that you did do a little bit of teaching. Are you still doing that out in Victoria, or?
Oh, great question. No, not at the moment. Although, if you are from Victoria and want a piano player, hire me. And I recently resigned from my job, which I don't want to get into because it's still kind of pending. So I'm currently unemployed, and I'm taking this opportunity to get back into music full time.
Ooh.
Nice.
Hire her.
Do
Or
I have
else.
descriptions of other musicals? Not that good, no. But if we want to talk about musicals and you want to check another autism box, we could do that.
We love musicals, music theater, both.
Theater.
Theater. Let us go to the theater.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not big on musicals, unfortunately, but I can have my mind changed. All right. I'm down to have my mind changed, but I never really got into them.
Let me think on this. Maybe we should circle back to musicals, because now that I have the opportunity to change somebody's mind and show somebody the true power of musicals, and my best friend in chat who agrees with me that Les Mis is the best musical, maybe we should, have this discussion in the future. But by the way, did you see? So, can I talk politics for a second?
Go for it.
Go for it.
So, Orange Menace down in the stateside country.
Who's that?
Booked Les Mis to play in the Kennedy Center,
Yes.
and literally moments after the musical was done, as he was leaving, the reporters there said, who's your favorite? Who do you identify with more, Jean Valjean or Javert? Now, if you don't know this musical, Jean Valjean is the obvious good guy, and Javert is a complicated, nuanced antagonist, but obviously the antagonist.
Yes.
And his answer was, I don't know. They're both so great.
I still find it so ironic that he went to a play, and that one play that he went to was Les Mis. Like, seriously.
He loves Les Mis. It's like a thing.
Is it actually a thing?
This
Yes,
is also
like-
a man, though, whose signature looks like someone's having a heart attack on a polygraph machine. So I don't know if I'd trust his
Or apparently,
cognitive
based on
abilities.
new reporting, maybe his signature looks like pubic hair.
No, not like mine.
Only on some days
too
of the
much?
year.
It's too much.
Oh my gosh.
That was not an Aurora take, by the way. That is a newspaper take.
True.
Wow.
True.
coming from
Newspaper
Murdoch.
takes.
Yes.
But I feel like I am very known at this point. I've had several rants already, and it's only been 20 minutes.
I have a question for you. It's a
Do it.
little bit of a different.
We don't do that here. Sorry.
Oh.
Sorry. I'm kidding.
Rib.
All right.
Hang on, let me
Menace.
check my contract.
Oh,
Uh,
So Aurora, just so you're aware, there is a little bit of a bit here that we've come up with where because Jess is
It's not a
trans
bit.
mask, he has the mask, privilege now.
Oh. Oh, do we have to stop and listen when they talk?
Yeah, he's going to mansplain us different things now. His contract, of course, he gets paid more than me and Riv. It's just
There's a
it's the way
formula.
it works.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, obviously. Okay.
We have
I
to
will
follow the
listen
formula.
and prepare to tell you that you are right.
Thank you.
He also
That's-
gets paid per
really-
question. So,
It's true. It's true. Yes. Yes. And I really appreciate the smiles. Yeah. Yeah. So just
I'm
yeah,
leaving.
just-
Wait.
I am activated.
feel like it's like I was on this podcast for 2 months and then I saw myself out. Okay, so here's my question, Aurora. You said you go to Burns.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, like, do you go to any gatherings that are not Burns? Like, are you a part of, or are you like, do you typically go to Burns, or are there any other like intersecting groups? Because some folks I know here in the States have like, there's like kind of like an intersection of like different gathering groups, and so I'm just curious.
Yeah, cool. So there's a joke here in Victoria that the Venn diagram of all of our alternative communities is a stack of pancakes. And so, yes, I love like nerd and gaming conventions, and I go to those all the time. I love Renaissance fairs and medieval fairs. I'm trying to get into LARPing because I'm that kind of nerd as well. Um, just all kind. Yeah. So the answer is yes. And while each one of those I think is meaningfully different from a burn and meaningfully different from each other, the style of community and the way that interactions happen in all of those places I find very familiar. When I went to my first burn, I was quite nervous because I didn't know if I would fit in, or I didn't know if I was coming prepared with the right things, or you're supposed to bring something to contribute to the community at a burn, and I didn't know if my offering was good, and I was just so scared about it. And I got to this burn, and about 10 minutes later, I realized that I'd been to this 100 times, as much as I'd also been, this was my first time. Just because of the style of person there. And so, yes. Why do you
Nice.
ask that? What do you do?
I don't
Ooh.
anymore.
In the hot
but-
seat.
I don't anymore, but I used to, like I said, I've known several. Well, I used to live in the San Francisco Bay Area, so suffice to say, I've met a lot of people who've been to Burns before. But yeah, I just also like in this area there are like there's just like there's also like rainbow gatherings, and there's also like more like different private groups that do different, different like community oriented. We're gonna go spend some time in the woods together and get into some stuff, So I was just curious.
Oh, you know,
Politely.
so I should say here, when I say I go to Burns, I know immediately there's like 1,000 assumptions that get made for me. I don't tend to use substances and such like that. I tend to go for the experience and to meet people and to do things, which is not to say I stay sober, but here's the thing. I don't like the commitment of most substances. It takes too long. Yeah. So a beer is in and out, and then you're good and happily on your way. And so I tend to do that. But the other thing I think for me is I tend to like my events in one of two ways. I either want every person on the planet to be there, so it's just giant and huge and thousands and thousands of people, or I want it to be me and my partner, or like me and like two friends. And I don't tend to do the kind of middle ground events.
Gotcha.
All or nothing.
It's good to know what you like.
Hey, so here's a transition story. Because I'm told that we all maybe have those.
I don't know
So
what you're talking about.
so I transitioned like a heckin' long time ago at this point. And back when I did it, there were so few supports. I remember I had to drive an hour and a half to a scheduled coffee meetup to meet with, as far as I knew, the first trans person I'd ever met or even really heard of. And this kind, wonderful human met me in the cafeteria of her school lunchroom, and we hang out. And I was like, I cannot believe I'm meeting another trans person. Like, it was just so stunning, because it was so long ago, and who knows if I'd met somebody and I hadn't known or whatever else. But that was just the first one that I knew. And my therapists and stuff were not super well versed in it. I had therapists that were trying their best. They weren't being toxic, but it just wasn't something that was known and this kind of stuff. And neither, of course, was everybody around me. And after I remember I had gotten home from bottom surgery, and I looked around my house, which was now empty because my ex-wife had just moved out, and my family wasn't really talking to me anymore. My mom's great. I always say that my mom is great, but everybody else, feel free to throw them under the bus however you like. And
Vroom vroom,
I
motherfuckers.
sorry,
I'm sorry, I said vroom vroom, motherfuckers.
yeah,
Anyway, continue.
but just not my mom.
Just not the
And
mother.
I'd lost a number of friends and that kind of thing, and some gigs and some work, and because you could legally fire me for being trans when I did it. Yeah, so, and I got home from this surgery, and my house felt empty, and my life felt kind of empty, and I looked around my life, and I just went, "What the fuck?" Because my whole experience transitioning and pre-transitioned at that point had been, if I was only a girl, everything would be better. And then I transitioned, and there was this like promised land coming in on the horizon. And all I had to do was finish my transition, and then the promised land would be achieved. And so I got home from this surgery, and I had, I'm not saying that bottom surgery is transition. That's totally a fallacy. It just happened to be the last thing that I did.
Sorry,
Yeah.
a fallacy is a good pun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, okay. I had to. I love
Thank you
puns
for-
here.
Calling that out.
Oh,
Calling that in.
oh.
You could call it up. I mean,
Yeah.
You can call it
Anyway.
up and in. Yeah.
Anyway, and I looked
Please
around,
proceed.
I looked around in my life, and I went, "What the fuck? I have all the same problems I had before. This sucks." And so I got really depressed for a little bit, and eventually I had this big kitchen table because we used to have people over all the time, and so I had this really glorious table. And I went to the office supply store, and I bought this pack of note cards, like the index card style, and I took a Sharpie and I just wrote everything I wanted on all of these note cards, and just everything I could dream of that was something that I was interested in. Everything from I want to actually go to the nerd cons, to I want to cosplay as this specific character, to this is what the relationship I want to have, what might look like, to I want to be the person that always, shows up at parties, having taken the note. So if it's a costume party, I want to be in a costume. If it's a potluck party, I want to make sure I bring potluck, like whatever it is. And then I took some time and a bottle of wine and organized them all. And I ended up with 4 stacks of items that was these kind of 4 areas of my life that apparently I cared about. And I condensed them onto one sheet. This is an autism check, isn't it, as well?
I wasn't going to say anything, so I've already interrupted you twice. So
No, you're great. And I put it on the fridge. And for the first couple years, every single time that I did anything, I went to the fridge first and I said, is it on the list? And if it wasn't on the list, I said, should it be? And I would either put it on the list or do something different. And so I very much like ended up constructing a life out of what felt at the time like absolutely nothing in this weird uncharted path that, you know, that nobody was doing. And so when you say things like, you at least you know what you want, it turns out, you know, I did this kind of weird exercise, and but it worked, and it worked for me, and that is what I did. And then I feel like in so many ways I had, as a 30-year-old, the chance to reconstruct a life almost from scratch, which came with, you know, a huge amount of pain, but also a huge amount of opportunity.
Felt.
That's such a cool
I
story.
feel that.
I
Empathizing deeply.
I still get goosebumps from because I think that's the second time you've told me that story, and it's just because you have helped me along when you know, I was getting started and coming out and going through it, and you told me that story, and that's what kept me from doing that dive afterwards. And yeah, I love that. Thank you for sharing it. Thank you for sharing it. You're amazing.
You're welcome. I'm really glad that it was as helpful as it was. For those that aren't aware, I used to mentor Samara back when she was but a newly hatching egg.
Little baby.
I'm
That's
going
really
to
for
cry 'cause,
your
just
your
how
contribution.
far, like now I'm getting flashbacks and just like circling of all the story. And I mean, this isn't about me. This is supposed to be about you. Like,
Oh,
and
that's
I'm crying.
God.
But we all get to reap the benefits of this wonderful human who is here. So thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Hey, y'all made me cry last time. Well, 2
Ooh.
times ago. So I'm gonna make you cry.
You're on.
Oh, I hear something. I gotta run.
But it's great though. You like kind of like vision boarded your life, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I think there's really something to be said for I think there's like several different reasons why people tend to maybe hit that point that's like kind of like a cliff where they, you know, do like, okay, I did the thing, and now like I still have, you know, I still have all this baggage or whatever it was that they were expecting that like would magically be gone, that is not, you know, or like I'm still depressed or like whatever, you know. Um and I think that's a good point, that I think that like part of it is sometimes whatever that thing is, you know, whether it's a specific procedure or a short list of procedures, or like when I look like this, you know, or like whatever it is for each individual person. I think part of it is that like we put so much attention on that, and then it's kind of like you kind of lose yourself after that. It's like, okay, so now what, you know? There's this I've heard before of something like not like totally parallel, but I'm thinking about it, so I'll mention it. But like people who are like Olympic athletes and stuff will experience a similar thing where they're like training so hard for this one specific thing, for this like one specific event, you know, and then that event happens, and then they're just like, now what, you know, and they kind of feel lost for a little while. So I think that definitely can be like a parallel with what a lot of trans people go through with the big.
That resonates for sure.
Yeah.
You know, I said this so many times, and in all my trans mentoring of people newly transitioning, I think easily the topic most frequently that I would try to convey to these individuals was, your transition has to be for something. it's not the end. It's unlocking. It's really important. Our physical attributes are, as we all know, so important to what this is, but they're not the purpose. And when we get to the other side of it, what do we have? And if you're not careful, what you're going to have is the same shit you've got right now. You're just going to look different. I don't know about you, but I know for me, all of my problems were only one problem, which was that I was a boy. And I was like, well, I'll fix that and then it all fixes. And so I would ignore my problems. I didn't brush my teeth because I didn't care. That was the problem, was that I was a boy. Why would I brush my teeth? I didn't, take care of my body in any way. I didn't go after the things that I liked. Why would I go to a nerd convention and cosplay when I would have to cosplay Cloud when all I want to cosplay is Eric, right? So why would I even bother to go? And I think that so frequently we, as a community of folks who are dealing with huge, big structural, societal problems and, so increasing oppression and, just way more than anybody should have to face, we forget the individuality of what it is that we're doing. That the purpose of all of this is simply so that each one of us on an individual level can get closer to living the life that we want.
It's like transition is just the key that unlocks the door to learning how to love yourself.
Yeah.
And sometimes the real transition was the note cards you made along the way.
That's
Yeah,
beautiful.
that's reference from that TV show.
The TV show.
Oh yeah, that one TV show. How are you?
How are-
How are you?
Riv, though, you say that as a humorous callback, but you're right. And we
Thanks,
all
I
go
know.
through two transitions. The one we put a ton of work into, our physical transition, and the one that kind of too often happens to us accidentally, which is our, the transition of our personality and our emotional content and structure. And we think that that should be nothing, but it's not nothing. The world treats us different, and we have to learn how to handle that. We treat ourselves different, and we have to learn how to handle that. What happens all of a sudden when a life of, again, for myself, self-loathing, and that just disappears? Poof, it's gone. What am I going to do with all that emotional personality space? And we either feel that accidentally or we feel that intentionally. But that's every bit as important as our physical transition. And I wish that we talked about that more.
That's the goal, right? That's what we aim for. Because yeah, we can talk about surgery, we can talk about how long you've been on HRT and all that stuff on our podcast, but we really do talk really about emotions a lot. And I don't know, I'm a really big fan of learning to love yourself, because same, I've self-loathing for a long time and didn't even realize it, because I was just like, well, fuck it, I'm not going to live past my 30s. Why would I care? Well, why are you not going to live past your 30s? I don't know, just assuming I'm not, right? And then you find out that you have a way to understand what's wrong at your core, and then you start to realize you can have a different life. And it's a really big deal.
It's always so cool that, referring to the podcast, join the podcast, by the way. Or not the podcast, the Discord. That one too.
This is
Join
the
that one too.
podcast. Yeah.
This is the podcast. There we go. Because, yeah, we get a lot of different people at different stages along the journey. And having done the journey, it's always cool to look and see other people at, the different stages, going through all of these things and being there as elder trans, to be there to help support them along their way. And I mean, in a way, for me, it is carrying on that almost kind of like a legacy of what you've done for me too. And it's like just wanting to be able to share and be there and to say, yeah, you're doing great. you're doing this. You're, take care of yourself. Make sure you're self-caring as much as you are pushing for X, Y, and Z. So, absolutely.
It's worth saying too, I've grown to tolerate the label of elder trans long ago. But aren't all humans ideally on a journey forever?
Mhm.
Right.
And
Stagnation is death.
we're not done our journeys. I don't even believe. Okay, mini rant. I can't stand that word. I don't want to be asked about my journey. But I think that's mostly because it's been
It's fair.
so many years. But the
Yeah.
portion of my life and becoming that was transition may be over. But I am still every day learning to live in a world that is increasingly complex. Now, for those who aren't aware of Vancouver Island and specifically Victoria, this city is the most queer friendly place I have ever been, like shockingly so. I had a couple of friends here from Calgary about a year and a half ago, and I didn't say anything all weekend. We walked around town, we did a lot of stuff. They're two trans femme individuals, and on the way back to the airport, I finally said the thing that had been on my mind all weekend, which was, did you two notice that nobody here looks at you? And not stares. Nobody here does that micro look, that thing that we're probably all familiar with, where they register and then move on. Nobody here does that. And they were so excited. They're like, yes, we've been talking about it all weekend. We can't believe it. We thought it was just us. And I went, no, that's what it is here. It is frankly incredible here. And coming from Alberta and coming from a small town in Alberta where I was, as far as everybody knows, as far as everybody knew, the first trans person they'd ever met and all this other stuff, and a little bit of a local celebrity in that area because I was trans. And then also, I am an American citizen. Don't tell anybody; it's a secret. But I was born in Michigan, and I recently had a situation with my mother where she was in the airport in Detroit, Michigan, and needed somebody to drive her, and I couldn't go do it, even though I hold a U.S. passport. And trying to put all of this into life is so complicated. What does it mean to live in this place that is that accepting and yet have roots in this other place that seems to want me completely erased? And that's my individual story, and we all have our own. And the whole point of the story is, I'm going to go back to the journey work because I don't know another one in this moment. My journey as a trans person is not over. I'm still learning, still developing. Every day is a new a new challenge and a new hardship, but sometimes also a new opportunity or a new joy. So I just really want to, I don't know if push back's not the right word. That's not what I'm doing here. But this idea that we could ever truly be done.
I mean, even going back to our last podcast, Riv talking a little bit about, you know, her second transition of, figuring out, a little bit more non-binary fae side of it, instead of just being just trans femme.
And even that, like, I'm not the, I mean, I've been transitioning, it'll be 5 years in November, but like I did the transition, did the surgery stuff, right, done, and that was done 2 years ago. And like I feel like 2 years ago was when my life kind of restarted, and I started to actually figure out who I want to be and who I am and who I'm becoming, and decide whether I like that or if I want to switch gears and make changes. And I feel like we all encounter that period, right? Where we're like, am I on the track I want to be in life? And it's now about more than just checking the boxes, pun intended, after bottom surgery, um, and being like, I'm done, because you're not done. You're still a person. You're still growing and learning, and now doing a podcast. Now I'm
We're
a
doing a
recording
podcast.
artist, and I still have a day job, and I've never stopped moving. So I don't know where I'm going with this, but just seconding your call out of we never stop growing and changing, and it feels more pertinent as a trans person and more obvious, but it really does affect everyone as long as they are ready to embrace the ability to grow and change constantly. And I think a lot of people just choose comfort and stagnation over change and rebirth.
You're absolutely right. For those of us that live outside of a dominant culture existence, and I would count all trans people in that, whether or not we are, quote unquote, invisible or not, then we are forced by circumstance to take stock in this way, in some way. We have this giant, overwhelming, often traumatic life event that imposes that change upon us. But as you say, wouldn't in so many ways everybody be better if they chose that, and ideally without all the trauma and without all the other parts of that? But so much of the difference between us and dominant culture lifestyles is that a dominant culture, say, relationship or lifestyle isn't necessarily forced into an introspective stance right away. There are tropes, there's patterns, you do this, you do that. And whether or not you're trans, if we have a same-sex or gender relationship or similar, we're forced into the same thing right away. Whereas or a polyamorous relationship, you're forced into this upfront communication that I would argue that all couples should do, but too often don't, just because it doesn't happen right off the get-go. And then something bad happens, they have a fight down the road, and it reveals this long-term structural, say, gap in communication styles that has been there the whole time, but only now are they forced to confront.
Nailed it.
Thanks.
Anytime.
You get a professional on the stream, you get professional answers.
I love it.
We only
I'm
want
just gonna-
chaotic answers here. I'm just kidding.
Absolutely, and I'm just going to
Guess I'll
jump
get
into
myself
the
out.
chat
All
message.
right, no.
The chat
No, you're in
mention
good
here
company.
of just this stream is unbelievably deep and is actually so cool, and finding a lot of things I'm taking notes on. So, Bree, you hit it right there, and I mean, there's so much amazing things, and this is just the first hour, y'all. We're coming up to our break, and don't know if this would be a good time for it.
We can do a break now and have a little intermission,
Sure.
probably before it gets too deep again. And Aurora, you don't have to go off camera if you don't want to, but we do take a 5-minute break, and we then decide to go and have a bio break, grab a drink. I tend to stay on stream because I'm not hydrated enough to go pee at the halfway mark.
I was gonna say, if I choose to stay on camera, will I be the only one, and will it just
No.
be me voguing in silence? Because I will do that.
You can do that if you want to, but I will definitely be here.
I
But maybe
I
you'll wanna
have to
tune
be
in the
here.
future.
I have to be here because my system crashes if I turn off my camera.
Oh. Well, I will go off camera because I have been hydrating.
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
There you go.
Quality conversation.
Okay, listeners and viewers, return to us in 5 to 10 minutes, and we'll see you soon. I will still be
See
here
ya.
because I'm a freak.
That.
Now it's time for the chaos.
No one gets back home tonight.